Lisa is an animator based in Adelaide, South Australia. She mixes humour, feels and cheerful colours to make engaging animations that appeal to people of all stripes and stand out in the wave of internet content we're exposed to daily. You're going to love this. Her work is fabulous. Please welcome Lisa V.
Thank you. There wasn't really a lot of point to that, apart from maybe being a little bit of a precursor of what's to come and maybe to wake you up a bit. It's 3:30, so we'll just get into it. It's wonderful to be here. I am so nervous. When I'm nervous, I just get so tongue-tied and a bit sweaty. Sorry. Yeah, I'm looking forward to my heart rate going back to its usual pace. When James invited me to talk, my initial plan was just to hide under a pile of coats, but I figured he wouldn't really be very happy with that scenario. But before I get too much into things, I'd just like to say a huge thanks to James and Kim for inviting me here and flying me down from Adelaide or up or across, I don't know where, and organising everything. It's been great so far. Yeah, so I guess I should start this talk. So about me, I've been freelancing for around 5-ish years now. I currently work out of a co-working space in Adelaide called Blank Space. And it's full of all different kinds of creative people, a lot of animators, film people, designers, and it's great to work around like a bunch of like-minded people. I jumped straight into freelance straight out of uni, just because there was lots of opportunities that seemed to pop up, and I just sort of jumped onto the next thing and then the next thing. And after about 18 months of thinking, like, do I want to keep freelancing or do I want to get a job? I decided, I'm going to really stick to this, and I quit my part-time job, and I feel really lucky how things have progressed. And so I studied illustration and graphic design at uni, and during that time I did a 2-week animation elective, and I was just hooked on animation straight away. I'm like, oh, I love this. I want to know more about it. I bought the animator survival kit, and I did a bunch of short courses, and learned a lot from friends and mentors as well. And because of my background in illustration, I enjoy creating more traditional kind of animations, so more frame-by-frame stuff. And I use Photoshop for pretty much everything I work in. For most of my freelance life, I've been working with my amazing friend Chris Edsler. I just want to give him a big shout out because he's just been such a huge support in my career. Together we've worked on a bunch of projects. Recently did some work with Nike Basketball and Valentino Garavani, and we've just started working doing animations for theatre, which is something I never really thought I'd do in my career, so it's really exciting. I'll just play my show so you can get an idea of my work and what I do, but let's see if this works.
I know
I almost started doing a bit of karaoke up here. It's dangerous. Yeah, so I mostly work in animation, but I do get the occasional illustration project. My illustration work is very pun motivated, which is how I think I started working freelancing for Hallmark e-cards early in my career. So working with them, I managed to combine my love of drawing, pun making and animation all together. And working with them was such a fabulous opportunity because they allowed me to be really creative and explore different styles and run with my own ideas as well. Like that dung beetle animation was one of the e-cards we worked on. And the idea I pitched was like, I want to do a dung beetle, and he runs over another dung beetle, and at the end it's like, thanks for putting up with my crap. It's an apology one, and we made it, and I was like, yes, I've infiltrated Hallmark, I did it. But yeah, so I definitely learned a lot working with them and collaborating with them, and I'm really grateful for everything that they taught me and that I got to give to that company as well. So I do a lot of drawing in my own time. Apart from puns, I'm really motivated by like my day-to-day life and like just feelings and pets and food things and roommates shouting at the TV. And for me, like drawing is a great outlet for expressing feelings and showing emotion and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's a little bit about what I do and what I like doing. And yeah, so when I started planning this talk earlier in the year, I was just sort of like, what do I talk about? I mean, I like working as an animator and I've been freelancing for a little while. But what area do I focus on? And I was like, maybe I could talk about how to use Xero software. I'm like, I'm not an accountant. But yes, and then I started overthinking and I was like, who am I and what do I do? And then I had an existential crisis. Like, what do I like? But it helped me realize my passion in making animated GIFs. And it's GIFs, not GIFs. I don't care what the creator says. But I didn't realize that a lot of work that I do now is just making animated GIFs. I make a lot of GIFs for myself and for clients, like based off of observation and internet trends and life trends. When you think about it, it's such an odd format because it was so popular in the 90s and early ooze. Some of you might have a bit of a nostalgia trip with this situation. So a lot of this kind of thing was made by a company called the Animation Factory. And I'm sure some of you guys listened to Reply All in episode 61 called Baby King. You can learn all about all these old GIFs and how they came to be and how they were made. It's very fascinating. But yeah, these kind of GIFs like infiltrated the internet, and they were like often used in crazy and inappropriate ways. We all know the Simpsons gag. I knocked over my water. We all know this kind of Simpsons gag, and it wasn't uncommon to see websites like this, like a professional business loaded up with GIFs and animated text and 5 fonts flashing, and they were trying to sell a lawnmower or something like that. It's crazy, you don't need it. But even today, this kind of thing still exists among us in a more ironic sense, I think, but it's around. Yeah, so I think GIFs kind of went out of trend with MySpace and LiveJournal. We all remember this kind of situation. And I think they were kind of replaced, so when MySpace was sort of replaced by like Facebook and Twitter, that's when sort of GIFs, I think, died away a little bit because they didn't really allow customizable profiles in this way. And I personally kind of miss this aesthetic. I think it's a bit fun and silly, but I understand that it's for the best. So I used to have these keyboard shortcuts in MSN where every second word was pretty much replaced by a GIF, so it'd be like word, GIF, word, GIF, GIF, word, GIF, and you couldn't read like what you were sending to somebody. And there were these like annoying and intrusive animations, like nudges that would shake your screen, and you send them on a knock, and it would knock on their screen, and it'd drive them insane. And I'm really inspired by that. So yeah, I think GIFs are kind of on trend again, kind of like the resurgence of 90s fashion. Unlike 90s fashion, I hope that GIFs are a trend that's here to stay. Sorry if 90s fashion is your jam. I personally can't pull off overalls. I look like a child. Yes. So when I started making GIFs, I started making like fan arts of shows that I really enjoyed because I wanted to pinpoint moments in those shows that I really related to or connected to, and I just posted them up online on Giphy and on Tumblr, and I just found people were so responsive at the time, like, oh man, that moment in that show really meant something to me as well, and go back and forth like that. And that's when I realised that GIFs are really great at communicating easily and easily conveying emotion, maybe that tiny little bit more or in a different way than what images do, and it's not as hard to make as like a feature film or something. So I kept making these animated GIFs, just made my own characters, trying to emulate like the feelings I saw in these shows and life experiences. I often did a GIF most evenings and just posted it up online, even if it was rubbish. I'm like, put it up online. I spent an hour on this, and people have to see it. So one evening, I animated these 2 dancing idiots on my iPad in some software called Rough Animator, and I posted them up online. I forgot to animate their little avocado skins, so they're these weird broken avocados. Like they look a little bit 3D-ish, but then they don't have their skin, so they're flat. It's all wrong. It's wrong. And if I had have known that they would have impacted my career and the direction I wanted to go in, I maybe would have just spent a little bit more time fixing that. But yeah, they've had over 160 million views on Giphy now, which is mad. It's insane. Thanks. Thank you. And yeah, they've just sort of exploded all over the internet. This just sort of seemed to happen overnight, where people were tagging me like, "Hey, aren't these your avocados? Like, what are they? Oh, they're over here now." And then I'd look, and there they are, like dancing, promoting someone's socks or something like that. Wow. So my timing making these avocados were really good. Avocado was on the rise as Australia's favourite breakfast treat, and millennials were being accused of not being able to buy houses because we've been eating too much avocado toast. So I just kept playing into these jokes and trends that I saw. So this next one, this guy was inspired by an argument I got in on Twitter once. So this person posted this avocado, they'd cut it the wrong way, and I was like, well, that's not right, that's not how you treat an avocado. So we got in this back and forth. I was sending him a GIF, and he was going back at me, and I was like, and I ended up sending these police avocados, how you threaten people on the internet. But then, next thing you know, the SA Police News Facebook page was posting, using these GIFs dancing in their Facebook page about a serious theft of avocados. And my police avocados are there. It's insane. So that was a real big hit with my aunties and uncles tagging me away. Look at that, you're famous. Thanks. Thanks, Uncle Nigel. Yes. So I just kept making these avocado GIFs because I enjoyed it. I just liked doing it. I really liked seeing people use them in conversations, and if they'd pop up somewhere funny, I'd be like, oh, there they are. It got to a point where I just sort of had so many little avocados. I'm like, what do I do with all these? So then along comes Xcode, some software in Apple, it allows you to upload an app to the App Store without having to learn how to code. So unlike Ben, I was like, I don't have to learn how to code. I'll just cheat my way through it. I was a little bit like, the less learning, the better, but that's not a very good, that's not a good thing to pass on. So I set about making these, making a sticker pack for the App Store. And honestly, even though I didn't have to code, it was a real life nightmare. There was just so many steps and errors and things going wrong. Like, why isn't this working? And they declined it a bunch of times. And this was like a little drawing I did at the time. I'm like, oh, when is it gonna work? I'm very grateful to my friend Hannah, who works at Mighty Kingdom, which is a games company that does a lot of work with the App Store, and she helped me understand all the error codes and everything that was going wrong. And so they were finally up online. Yeah. I can see their little goofy faces smiling at me on my phone amongst all the other apps, and it was a really cool feeling launching an app. I was a little bit like, I'm an app developer now, like, look at me, I made one. So here they all are. There's about over 50 of them now. That's still not enough according to all the reviews I get, and I'm honestly running out of ideas. There's a lot of them. So the most feedback I get is about the shepherd avocado. So he is 2 across and 4 down. And I didn't realise that shepherd avocados were just like an Australian thing, and they've been quite popular overseas. So people message me and be like, "What's the meaning of this avocado?" And I'll be like, "Well, it's a shepherd avocado." And I think they're usually a bit disappointed. They're like, "Oh, I was hoping for something more interesting." So excitingly, my sticker pack has done really well. In the App Store, it's had over 270,000 downloads and been featured in the US, Canada, UK, China, and Australia. And it's frequently in the top 10 sticker apps in the App Store. It'll dip in and out. It sort of stays in the top 100 most of the time. But it was really cool seeing it being featured like alongside Minions and like a giant company, and it's up there with all these like really well-known characters and things, and there's just my silly avocados up there being idiots. So I think that's really fun. So my next step with the sticker pack is to start making limited edition avocados, and I have decided to release a Christmas range, which is going up. Well, it is up. It's up now. Yeah, I'll just play this video. So that's something. Thanks. So my favourite thing about being an app developer now is reading reviews in the App Store. I check it almost every day because I'm like, what are people saying? Number one, I got to check if they're saying mean things about them, because for some reason people, I don't know, they have strong opinions on avocados. 2, people say the strangest things. People are mostly nice, I should say. All the reviews are really friendly, but I've taken some screenshots of some of my favourite reviews. So they're really popular with teenagers, and because they can be reviewed anonymously, I think that explains why I got a lot of strange things. But these are some of my favourites. I got in an argument with someone who called them a PC cop-out, and I was like, I'll tell you, I told him off. The App Store allowed my response, so I was like, oh, that's nice. So that's good news. But someone called I Don't Do This Much left a 5-star review titled Oh the Pain, and it's a poem about being allergic to avocados, which it's baffling. And someone requested a Donald Trump avocado because it would be useful for every scenario. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's crazy. But yes, this one, the next one I'm going to show you is a personal favourite of mine. I'm going to read it out because it's just so silly. But I can't count how many times I've used these amazing stickers. They have helped me to understand the true meaning of life. After a few weeks owning these, I started having strange feelings towards them. One time I found myself staring into the avocados at the grocery store when an employee snapped me out of it. The next day I looked into the clouds and saw avocados waving to me. These stickers are far more superior than a mortal can understand. If you use these, we can help avocados rule the world and take over to create the avocado kingdom. Like, I just had to share that. It's just so funny. And it was written by Zorro Guy. Zorro Guy? I don't know. So the last sort of avocado-related thing, well, I think it is. Yes. Is someone made a little Halloween couple's costume based off the sticker pack, and I thought it was really cool. Luckily since the popularity of the avocados, I've had like a really good flow on into more work. And most of the projects, I'll just show you a couple of projects now, are a result of people seeing, the avocado gift that I showed earlier and being like, we want you to make something like that for us, which I think it's insane that my best piece of self-promotion is like almost a mistake. It's just that silly gift. So yeah, the first thing is another self-initiated sticker pack. So I made a potato one. It's very pun-based, so I like my puns. So there's like tater tots as little babies, and baked potato with the smoke, and roast potato with the G-string tan line. I don't know why my brain's this way, but yeah, they're easy to draw. You can it's just a circle with little dot eyes, so I can make them really quickly. And okay, so the next project, Giphy commissioned me to make a sticker pack for them. They were just amazing to work for. They had a very open brief. They just wanted it to be colourful. And they said, go for it, do your thing, make us a sticker pack. So I was like, what do I want to do? I'll make these like angel and devil trope things. So the devil's normally like the naughty sort of character, and the angel tries to be good, but sometimes gets sucked into the shenanigans. Yeah, so those are just some fun little guys. And you can use them on your Instagram stories if you search Inner Demons or my name, but my name's a bit too hard to spell, so search Inner Demons. Yeah, and this next project, I do a lot of work with BarkBox now. They're a subscription-based box. They send out monthly treats and toys for your dog. It's only in America, so you can't get it in Australia yet, but they wanted some gifts to be used for their internal communications with customers, because quite often their customers, their one email they get is, where's my bark box? Why isn't my bark box here? When's it coming? So they wanted some fun gifts to sort of accompany that response that they were always like, it's on its way, or it's the post office's fault. So yeah, these were designed by Dave Coverley, and you might recognise the style from his Speed Bump comics, and he was wonderful to collaborate with. He's a traditional pen and ink guy, and he was just so excited to see his drawings come to life, so it was a real treat to work on. But yeah, since making these, I've just kept sort of doing things with BarkBox. So I just want to show a little video that we made. So I don't normally make explainer animations because it's not very practical as a frame-by-frame animator. Like, it just takes too long, but I just couldn't pass up the script and the storyboards for this, so we just went for it. But I'll play it now. If it works, I might have to...
BarkBox came?
This is BarkBox, the subscription box responsible for your dog's favorite day of the month. For years, our customers have wondered how we manage to deliver the very best toys, treats, and chews to their door each month. The answer is quite simple. Introducing the Barkomatic K9000. Using Barkomatic's state-of-the-fart technology, we are able to design our own toys, concoct our own treats, and discover what fun tastes like. How does it work? Well, first we put in all the things that dogs love. Your favorite shoe, a cool stick, the ground, dog's butt, stranger's crotches, smelly socks, bacon-covered peanut butter-covered bacon, your family, squirrels' nuts, stray balls, other balls, and some good old-fashioned home cooking. Baked with love in the United States and Canada, of course. Next, we filter out all the junk that you don't want for your dog. Things like wheat, corn, soy, weird chemicals, unnecessary costs, and creepy meats. Then, we add a new theme each month that'll make you humans go, oh my gosh, look at this stuff! Is that a fish taco? What? The good, the bad, and the pugly? I'm gonna pass out. What kind of dinosaur is my dog? I never thought about it before. Invasion of the space squirrels? This is the best day of my life! Look at this cute fucking stuff! Last but not least comes our secret BarkBox ingredient. And there you have it, a one-of-a-kind, can't find anywhere else BarkBox, with 2 treats, 2 toys, and a chew your dog is guaranteed to love. Trust us. Or better yet, trust them. Join the pack at barkbox.com. BarkBox. Dog people get it.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a real treat to work on. I couldn't turn that one down. Yeah, so another thing that came up because of the avocados is so Nickelodeon recently commissioned 25 different artists to celebrate 25 years of Nicktoons, and it was obviously just crazy to be asked to contribute to anyway to Nickelodeon. It was really fabulous, and they asked if I could do a tribute piece for their show Cat Scratch. I don't think it aired in Australia, but it gave me a good chance to watch some cartoons at work. And in one of the episodes, Gordon, the main character, has an allergic reaction to broccoli. And I thought that was really funny, so I just sort of went with that. I'll just play it because it's going to be so those were made for Vine at the time, and just as they finished the celebration, Vine went out of business. Well, that's a shame. So this little project is something I worked on with Chris Edzer, who I mentioned earlier. He designed all these really gorgeous characters for Valentino Garavani to celebrate Year of the Dog for Chinese New Year this year. They were animated by myself, Makoto Koji, and Hannah Judd. And these were all part of like a larger piece, which I'll show you in a second. But it's the first time where we really considered like breaking down the assets into like little usable pieces, so we could use them for a sticker pack if it came up, like if we could convince them to make it, and for all their social media stuff as well. So we made all these little loops all in the same like amount of time, and that way we could easily just pop them in all the marketing that we needed to make for it. But yeah, I'll just play the main ad. Thanks. Thank you. So I got an email from a company in Sydney called 3P Learning, and the email subject was, "We love your avocados," and I was like, what could this be? Like, whenever it's about the avocados, it's usually something weird. But they asked if I could help them out on a game, and I'd never worked on a game before. So they wanted me to design these 20 little characters called Numbeanies for an app that would be rolled out in schools to help school kids, like reception age children, learn how to count. So these little characters would like dance and celebrate whenever like the kids sort of connected or got the right amount of numbers, and so it was really nice to work on a project that was sort of like, oh, I'm just doing good things. It gave me a good chance to learn some new software as well. So these were made in Spine. So I still got to draw them in Photoshop, and then I imported them into this software called Spine, where I could like put all the skins on this one rig and then just do one animation and then just swap their skins out. And I was just like, wow, this is really cool. Like I would never have been able to do this in a frame by frame way, like animate 20 different little blob characters. So I almost passed away when I got an email from Disney asking if I'd like to make some stickers for their broadcast of the Radio Disney Music Awards. It was just crazy to get that email. I'm like, oh, well, this is it. This is it. And they wanted these words to be overlaid on top of the film, and we sort of had to like preemptively like decide what words might be helpful. And we had 20, and I did sort of 20 sketches, and we got it down to 10. and they picked their favourite, and then we sort of ended up going with these 4. I really feel like I channeled my love of all those old GIFs I showed before in there, hopefully in a bit of a fresh new way. And yeah, this was a different kind of challenge for me because it was mostly text, designing something that has to be legible, and it had to fit in with their brand, and they had their very strong colour palette and things that I had to stick to. Yeah, it was such a rewarding project, and I just think it's really amazing that like all these projects have sort of happened because I guess I just sort of rolled with my own personal project. So I think, if you're thinking of making a game or a sticker pack or a film or whatever you're thinking of doing, you just sort of have to do it because there could be such a positive flow and effect from it. Yeah, to wrap up this talk, I have made a sticker pack for NodeFest. I was like, this will be a great chance to like make a new thing. I have about 20 ideas on my phone, but I was really excited about sharing this one or making this one. Yeah, so they're called Workout Buds, and they're these like fun, friendly little blob characters. Because I noticed that there was this sort of gap in like fitness apps and like health apps. They're also serious and like they look nice, but they're kind of boring because it's just about calorie counting and goals and kilometers. I just didn't think that was very fun. So yeah, here's some of them. Yeah, I'm personally not really that inspired by like these unattainable fitness levels and like lame quotes overlaid over a sweaty person. I wanted to make these things that are fun, and it sort of shows characters sort of struggling to do things, but they, they're just doing their best, and yeah, they're a bit more relatable, I hope. Yeah, they can be used for a whole bunch of situations. But yeah, there's only 15 of them so far, and I want to add more to them as I go along. And yeah, they're free in the App Store for NodeFest people today. I thought it would be a fun thing to do. I'm really sorry, I don't have anything on Android yet. It's harder. But yes, thank you. Thank you for listening.
Questions, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be shy. Right here in the spotted top. Is it spotted? Just repeat the question so the microphone picks
so
up.
what software do I use and how many frames do I use? I pretty much do everything in Photoshop using the timeline. I don't think it's the quickest way to animate, but it's I really enjoy working in it. It's just sort of, I don't know, I think as a sort of having a background in illustration has I think I feel comfortable working in there. In frame rate, I work at 25 frames a second.
Do you draw on 2s or 4s?
On 2s, yeah.
Two? That's a lot.
Yeah.
Do you use those Kyle brushes or someone else's?
Yeah, Kyle's, and my friend Chris has made some brushes as well that I use, and also some Procreate brushes from the iPad software.
Okay.
Them.
You draw a bit on the iPad?
Yeah,
nice.
I like it.
It's good.
It's good. Yep.
And the full Adobe, I think, well, pretty much Photoshop is kind of coming to the iPad next year.
Yeah, it should be. I'm excited about that. Because
Next question.
Hi. You pretty much created like a branding with your avocado, and it's awesome. I just want to know about the copyrights. Is there any like copyrights for your avocado design, or how does it work?
I own the copyright.
I mean, like people copying your avocado. How does that work?
Oh yeah. So I have an agent called Come Alive Images, and they chase all of my GIFs and send out an invoice to anybody that's used them.
Oh, wow.
Because it's actually become a little bit of a problem because they've just been everywhere. So they send out takedown notices and that sort of thing, which I feel a bit conflicted about because I want people to use them and I want them to get out there, but then at the same time, if a giant company or something is using them to promote their work, then I don't think that's not quite right. Yeah, I think, does that answer your question?
Yeah,
And without, diving into your bank balance, I mean, the stickers pack, $1.49, and Apple take, what, 30%?
They take 30%, and also I swap between putting them up for free and also charging for them. So quite often most of the downloads happen when they're free, and then you sort of swap it, and then you reach more people. So it's a big swap between.
And why do you do that? Just to help get them seen again?
Yeah, because it slows down, and then you're we'll sort of get them spread out again.
Cool.
So
And you can control that.
Yeah, and when you do updates, you generally reach more people as well. What else can you do? Yeah, when it gets featured as well, that's really exciting.
And how many sales roughly?
We just go over 270,000. Yeah.
270,000.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Why do people want them? I don't get it.
That's awesome. Well done. That is so cool.
Yeah.
More questions?
Ooh.
Where do you draw your inspiration from?
Definitely life experiences for sure, just observations. TV shows and things that I like. Simpsons is my most favourite show.
Is there a TV show about avocados?
Maybe I'll make one. I don't know. No.
I did pick up a bit of a Simpsons vibe.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. Have another snake. No. Was there a question up there near you, Kim?
Worth of usability. How do you manage that quoting?
Oh man, that's tricky. It is definitely it is a case by case thing. It does depend on the GIF and who it's for, and how long I think it's going to take. For instance, with the Disney GIFs, we had 1 week to make them, so that was crazy. So for that kind of moment, they also wanted the copyright, so I had a copyright buyout fee, and then I charged for my time. So, and because it was a rush job, it was a higher day rate. But I honestly wouldn't. I don't know if I should give advice on how to quote, because I honestly feel I'm still learning things, making mistakes, and then being won't charge that way again. But yeah, if someone comes to me for one GIF and they're well, we want you to make this for a website, I'll usually try and upsell. I'll be well, what about 10 GIFs? Because making one is sort of I could sort of do that in a day, or depending on what it is, it could be something I could do quite quickly. So it's sort of worth trying to push it as much as it can, and just sort of upsell. I don't know. I think I just went around your question. I don't know.
So an avocado, would you like fries with that?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Is there hands? If I can't say... Oh, not Matthew Packard. All right, Matthew, this is Matthew's last question for the day, I'm sure. Strike 3.
All right. I just wanted to say you're a shining example for why we want more women in the industry. I thought that was pretty awesome, and it was much different to the rest of the talks today.
Well said. Well said.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And also, just working from Adelaide, and you playing on the world stage, how do you market yourself, or have you put much thought into marketing, or has it all just sort of been organic for you?
It has been mostly organic. I think, especially with putting every kind of drawing I do up online, it does get around all my GIFs. I think so my GIF views, I looked last night on GIF, it just hit 3 billion. So I just feel that's just been a really great way to promote my work, even though through Giphy they escape and go everywhere and we've got to track them down. But I think just uploading stuff on the internet has been really good for me for promoting my work.
Is there a little signature on every avocado, or how do people know
so
it's
that's
yours?
really important. Putting my name on them, so when they do get away, people can because my name is, I guess, pretty unique as well. Like you can easily search it, and then at least I'll come up.
Yep.
So that's definitely how people have linked the avocados back to me. If my name wasn't on them, then I probably wouldn't have gotten a lot of the work that I've gotten. So
Yeah.
that's important. I should say also, Lillian really encouraged me to talk
Yes,
here
she did.
today. I was like, I'm not doing it. This is crazy. And then she was like, Lisa,
Lisa, get over here.
come
Get
on,
over here.
represent. And I was like, I don't want to. And then I did.
Good. I'm glad. Are we glad?